Wonderful. So good to have everybody. Just like I said before I pushed record, Sheree and I we've been working on this for about a year, a little over a year. And it just like I shared before I pushed record, it just feels like there's such a hunger and such a desire for being able to look at spirituality and intuition through brain spotting, through that brain spotting lens. So, welcome everyone, and good to have everybody. I'm going to keep admitting people behind the scenes, so you'll hear my mouse clicking with that. So, without further ado, I want to make sure that we can dive right in. Feel free to write in the chat where you're from. This is always really fun for me to see people from all over the world. I know there's somebody had reached out to me. So, we are currently in Wisconsin in the United States, and somebody had reached out to me from Ethiopia, another person from Australia. So, it's wonderful to have everybody here. Great. Look at this. Yep, we're humming. Yay, so wonderful. Excellent, excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and just really excited to bring this knowledge to you. And I feel too, it just feels it's almost like across the planet. It just feels that there are so many people that are really wanting to access more, access meaning, and to really assist people to be more in alignment with their life path. I mean, I just feel like there's so many people that are just, like I said earlier, just hungry for this. So, without further ado, I'm Heather Corbett, and I am an occupational therapist and a holistic healer, and also a Reiki master teacher, spiritual advisor, and a coach. And it's been really neat to be able to witness how clients are able to just dive into their spirituality and intuition through brain spotting. And with that, I have been studying spirituality for about 20 years. And with that too, I feel like I've read every book, like gone through every magazine, every research article. I just feel that. And it's so amazing to me as I was able to go into brain spotting, just really witnessing how we were able to access spirituality and intuition. Almost, it just felt flawless. It felt at ease. And I just thought, what is this about? And being able to do all of this research, it's really neat to see how spirituality, intuition truly is in our brain. And so, with that, Sheree and I, about a year ago, we were talking about what we're seeing in our offices. And with that, just witnessing that we're seeing people really opening up to their spirituality and intuition through brain spotting. And so, as we went through all the research, we have been able to find just so much out there that truly says that spirituality, intuition is in us. So, really great to have everybody. And I'm a consultant and also a specialty trainer for our training, Brain Spotting Spirituality and Intuition. So, would love to hear more from Cherie if you want to share more about yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Cherie Lindberg. I'm also in Wisconsin, and I'm a brain spotting trainer and consultant, 20 plus years of doing trauma therapy and working with my core attachment, wounding, developmental trauma, all the way up to folks that have the diagnosis of DID, which in brain spotting we say dissociative identity adaptation or phenomena. We don't like the word disorder. So I have a lot of experience doing that. And about 2 years ago, I had a dear friend of mine who passed away from breast cancer. In fact, April 9th was the second anniversary of her passing. And that weekend, I was in a training with Cynthia Schwartzberg, and my whole body started to shake. And I'm like, how am I going to complete this training? And it just so happened that I found out this news right during lunchtime. And Cynthia was like, well, why don't we do some brain spotting? And I said, that sounds really, really good. Because I had to do the demo after lunch, right? So we start to do the brain spotting, and my girlfriend shows up right here. I can see her, I can smell her, I hear her voice. And it was a very beautiful experience. Now, I had many folks that in my office that had happened, where loved ones had passed away and had come in when I was holding the pointer. I had also seen my ancestors, but this was bigger than that because it was within 20, within just a few hours of her passing, we were talking. I felt her hug me. Like I had all these really deep experiences. And so that got me going, of course. And then she said to me, Cherie, you need to be a death doula. And I'm like, what is a death doula? I don't know what this is. I looked it up on Google and I said to my friend in my head, I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I don't want to be no death doula. Like, I'm already doing trauma therapy and now I'm going to be working with. And so what happened is I started getting clients that were death doulas. I kid you not. And so I started to hold space for folks that are helping other people transition. So all these experiences are just opening. I was getting a lot of information. I knew Heather was very supportive of all of this. And so her and I started talking about it. And then all my clients started saying to me, like they were whispering, like, yeah, I had this thing that happened. And it's like, why can't we talk more openly about this, right? It was very comforting to me to have that experience. Now I have also worked with people that are terminally ill and they're visiting their dead loved ones as they're preparing to transition. So anyway, long story short, the investigation started to happen, right? Started to be very curious, started to explore. And then Heather and I teamed up. And thus, this training, Brainspotting Spirituality and Intuition, came into being. So excited to share in this webinar with you and hope that at some point that you will join us in our training in May or when we have the training in person in Sedona in November. We're this close to getting a venue. We'll know by the end of this month. It should be up on the website. So that's all I got for now, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I feel too, just really witnessing as Cherie was sharing her story, her experience, what did you notice? What did you notice in your body? Just being able to witness that you truly are feeling this extra energy, or you truly are in connection with whatever this energy is, source, spirit, intuition, whatever this is. And so, this many people on here with us, it's really like we are getting into attunement, we are getting into synchrony. And just as Sheree was sharing too about, her friend coming to her and then also saying you need to be a death doula. And then all of a sudden, all of these death doulas are coming into her office. So that is synchrony. And that's one thing that we talk about in the training, and almost like this phenomenon of sorts. And so it's really neat to be able to experience that. And with this, again, just pay attention. Pay attention to what you're feeling in your body. Pay attention to what you're seeing maybe on the screen, around the screen. And this is a little off the cuff. And I just feel to do this as we start moving into the PowerPoint. But just go ahead and wherever you are on your screen, allow yourself to look at others on the screen and allow yourself to just send them either high energy, send them love, perhaps say a prayer for that person, and just see what that does to your system. And as we're all doing this, we're all coming into attunement. So, really just witness what you witness as this is happening. Just going to give us a moment. Yeah. Again, just witnessing what you are feeling in your body, and also just really witnessing we're all connected. We are all connected. There are 96 people here, and we are all connected. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the PowerPoint. We're going to dive in. Is everyone able to see that? Yeah. Okay. So here we are, Brainspotting Spirituality and Intuition. And this is a free webinar, a sneak peek of our 3-day training. and our schedule for today. So just looking at our PowerPoint until 7:30, and then this is Central Time in the United States, and then from 7:30 to 8:15 we're going to have a demonstration. And I just want to thank all of you who reached out to be able to do the demo. By the time people had reached out, we already had the demo. And I just feel like each time I was in somebody's energy or receiving the email, I just felt that with that, there was just this really deep desire to be able to access even more of your spirituality and your intuition. So thank you for that. And then also, as we're doing the demonstration, just really be able to witness what's happening with you as we're doing that demo. And then we're going to be able to come to a debrief and a question and answer at the end. So just as Cherie shared, her and I got together and it was like fireworks. It was amazing to be able to be with somebody speaking the same language and seeing the same things. And so with this, as we were putting together the training, it was almost as if everything started making more and more and more sense. So, our objectives for today are to describe and explain the neuroexperiential model of brain spotting and its terms and how it relates to spirituality and intuition. So, as you know, David Grand has been really working on this with the neuroexperiential model and just witnessing that our clients are, as they come into our office, they're ever evolving. We are ever evolving. And so, just being able to witness that with that evolution or with that growth, that also as we're experiencing spirituality within brain spotting and intuition, that with this, that there's even more access, it's deeper. So with this, really wanting to help you all to explore how to use advanced setups to access flow states, deepen intuition, and cultivate spiritual experiences. And so as we were researching, experimenting, there may be some of our clients on here that were able to receive some of the different setups that we were trying out just to see, like, is this a way? Is this a way? What are you experiencing? What are you noticing? With that, we were able to find some advanced setups that just help people to drop in. So it's pretty neat to get to that point. Also, today we're going to really help you all to apply techniques to build that internal confidence in trust, surrender, and knowing. And so we'll talk more about intuition with this trust and surrender and knowing. Also looking at attunement and resonance and just witnessing that you already have that relational attunement with your clients. And so how important it is for us to have that, to be able to hold that space to really assist our clients to go where they need to go. So just looking at which clients will benefit from this training. And Cherie, did you want to jump in?
You're doing good. I'll jump in on the next one.
Yeah. So just in looking at this, I feel like this list could be exhaustive, honestly. As we were doing the research, we were able to find in the research that as certain folks were being able to access their spirituality and intuition, that things were drastically changing. And so, with that, folks with addictions, just being able to really witness that the neurochemistry, as somebody is able to access spirituality or intuition, meaning creativity, imagination, that with that, then they were shifting, changing. Their neurochemistry was shifting and changing. Neurotransmitters were coming in at a different rate. And so, really witnessing that these folks are really able to really move forward with their quality of life as they're accessing spirituality and intuition. So, folks healing from trauma. So, just in being able to witness that as we're accessing our spirituality and intuition, that with this, that we're able to have that connection and able to feel supported. And with this, we do have a recording of the last training, and it's interesting how two demos explained the very same thing of feeling supported. Both of them said, I just feel supported. So really witnessing that too. They also both said, I don't feel alone. I feel like there is someone here with me. Also, just witnessing those clients who have low self esteem, clients who are highly sensitive, empaths, creatives, wanting to deepen their spiritual connections. So, I work with a lot of folks that are empaths or HSPs, creatives, and it's really beautiful to be able to witness as they're accessing their intuition and spirituality and how life just gets more manageable, that things are just not as overwhelming. Also, just to support clients who are having spiritual experiences. Okay, so, bringing that into the frame. And just witnessing as people are able to embody that meaning, that spirituality and purpose, and a lot of us, the majority of us, have probably been in sympathetic dominance for the majority of our lives. And so being able to access spirituality and intuition, really assisting us and our clients to embody it, we can have this state inside us. Also, any of those clients focusing on personal growth. And it can also help with grounding and deeper attunement. So, as a consultant, it's been really neat to be able to share with my certifiees some of these techniques and just witness as their attunement gets even deeper and more connected. So, with that, also believing in a power greater than yourself helps with overall well being. So, this is brain, body, and I love seeing all the research out there just sharing this. And I just feel what system is not affected by spirituality and intuition. It's really neat to see that all systems are opening up and being able to see people like decreased inflammation, et cetera, with being able to access spirituality and intuition. Also, learning to grow resources in our minds and imprinting them. So, being able to, with brain spotting, access spirituality and intuition, we're having this positive neuroplasticity. Things are shifting, things are changing. And with 1 to 4 quadrillion synaptic connections or more, just really witnessing that we are able to create more of that flexible neural network inside our brains through accessing spirituality and intuition.
So as long as things remain completely rigid and fixed, there is no room for something new to come into existence. And so this is just a really nice quote that to open up to brain spotting spirituality and intuition, like you are all here. You've been led here. There's some kind of spark inside of you for some reason that this interests you. And that spark, inside of you is a part that gets you here. Okay. And what we have learned through all the research we've done, that there are ways through practices, daily practices, there's ways to trigger flow so that we've learned through our research that you can increase the possibility of people having spiritual and intuitive experiences. But it also is going to take some effort on your part to do some of these practices. It's not just like it just arrives one day. For some people, they're very lucky that way, and it can. But for others, it's through daily meditative practices or daily self-spotting. Or we're going to talk about flow triggers, things that you have to do, self-care practices that is like building and cultivating a muscle inside of yourself that is going to help your central nervous system surrender more so that you can let the intuition in so that the neocortex doesn't try and control your experience.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah. And just really thinking about this too, our clients who have been through so much trauma and had to have these adaptations of being rigid, of being fixed, and just in witnessing that, being able to help them and support them with these techniques to move out of that rigidity and to move into that flexibility and improving that quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in looking at intuition and at insights, so this was a eureka moment that we found in the research. So here are the definitions, a few definitions of intuition. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So how many people here, feel free to raise your hand or nod your head, that there are times that you just know and you don't know why you know, but you know. Yes, yes, yes. And so with witnessing that we don't necessarily need to have that conscious reasoning. And another is intuition is an ability to understand or know something without needing to think about it or use reason to discover it. I just know I got to turn right instead of left. I'm not sure why. And then you find out later that on your way to work, there was a car accident to the right and you got home or you got to work safely going to the left. So, just in witnessing this, what we were able to find in the research is that with that, the intuition is in the body and it's quick and it's embodied. Also, the intuition is subcortical. We're able to access intuition through the subcortical. And with this, intuition doesn't always have words. What does have words are the insights. And so the insights that we hear at the end of our sessions with our clients those are coming from intuition. So insights are a deeper understanding of a person or thing. So just really witnessing at the end of some of our, just amazing sessions with our clients where they're just thinking, I am a good person. I'm kind. I do good things. And it's almost like they were able to release something in their subcortical, unlock something in subcortical, access intuition, and then here floats up these insights.
Mhm. Oh, I love Albert Einstein. I believe in intuition and inspiration. At times, I feel certain I am right while not knowing the reason. Again, often when we are brain spotting with our clients, if you've been fortunate enough to, I mean, we're all fortunate as healers to be able to witness the beautiful things that take place in our offices. But when you can see a client, maybe for the first time, go into a blissful state and they're confident and they know the truth and they're feeling very confident in it, I love that because I'll say, really notice this, really imprint this in your body, in this moment, because that's a moment where the programming of society and culture and everything washes away, and that person is in their authentic higher self right before our eyes.
What to
And
be,
so
right?
I really do enjoy this quote.
Beautiful. I'm just muting people that are coming on. So go ahead and make sure that you're on mute. Yeah. And I feel like with this too, being able to really witness that our neocortex is wanting to have those answers. And so with this, as we're accessing intuition, this is possibility, being able to access that. And also just witnessing like kind of the rational mind or the neocortical mind is that faithful servant fitting in, just kind of going with, whoever's around us and just really witnessing that as we're being able to access intuition, that we're able to increase that inspiration and people are able to come more online. They're able to be more their authentic self. They're able to really assist themselves to have that, again, that improved quality of life.
Mhm. And this is where the energy starts to flow because they get inspired, they feel positive, and this is where expansion and visioning for the future or for something that they want to manifest can come from.
Beautiful. Somebody just put in the chat about gut instinct. Is
Yep.
intuition gut instinct? Absolutely. And so that's what's been so neat about the research because it's quick, it's embodied. So there's that gut instinct. So yeah, beautiful. So, in looking at spirituality, here are some definitions, and feel free to put whatever else you're feeling for spirituality. These are from the College of Psychiatry. So, spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than myself. And in some of these demos that we've been able to do, it's so neat to see and hear people say, there's something more, there's something greater. Just being able to really witness that. What I'm excited about with the training is just being able to witness that we can sense out here. And so we share a little bit more about that in the training. So something more, spirituality is something more to being human than this sensory experience. There's more to just this moment. So also just looking at the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine in nature. And I feel too, just witnessing, whatever words our clients are using, whatever words bring that sense of inspiration, however that works as we're with our clients.
Feels like I'm getting all the quotes this time, Heather. Our brains are wired to perceive and receive that which uplifts, illuminates, and heals. This is Dr. Lisa Miller. It's one of our favorite books from the training, The Awakened Brain. So for folks that might want to read that. And what we discovered is that her research, I believe from Stanford, is that if you believe in a higher power greater than yourself, whatever those beliefs are, that is an 80% or higher buffer to depression. Why are we not talking more about this? That's a huge percentage. So folks that have this belief that it is going to buffer them from, going into depression. So if you're a healer and you're not asking your clients whether or not they have a belief greater than yourself, this might help you realize the importance of asking, because right there is going to be an additional resource that they can draw from when doing trauma work, that they can go into, purposeful meaning and have an 80% buffer for depression.
It's powerful. It's powerful. So, in looking at the neuroexperiential model, our neocortex wants to be fed constantly, and just really witnessing our true knowing is experiential. And so, as part of the training, we do feed the neocortex. Here you go, a lot of front loading. This is what's happening, so that people are able to drop in. And with this, too, just being able to give some like very frank and honest, brain components of things that are happening so that people are able to access their spirituality and intuition. So the neo experiential model is based on senses, instinct, and intuition. And this knowing has been conditioned out of us. So just in being able to look at indigenous healing, intuition has taken it's thousands of years of this indigenous healing that has been able to really help us to evolve, and just witnessing that we don't want to discount that, even if there isn't science or research or on and on to be able to back energy or spirituality or intuition. If it's helping my clients heal, I'm going to go there with them. So just being able to witness that. And what's exciting about this is us finding the research behind this, being able to back this. So a couple quotes from Dr. David Grand. The frame is wide, expansive, permeable, and it holds all the wisdom, knowledge, and experience. This is the neuro experiential model. Also, the frame is quantum, holographic, and not linear. And that's been what has been really neat about the research too, is just being able to see just how expansive our brains can go as we're accessing spirituality and intuition.
So even though we talk about some of these creative setups that we've just experimented with, it's really not about the setup. Okay. We're giving you some creative ideas to try to spark some of the creativity, but it is really about presence and attunement and surrender for the client and the therapist into that uncertainty process, so that that frame is wide open and whatever needs to happen can be that neuro experiential. It is coming from our physiology and it's highly neurological.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, in just looking at spirituality in the brain, so what is happening in the brain? What are some components that we're looking at? And one in particular is the inferior parietal lobe. And as we are with a person in brain spotting, and if they're accessing spirituality, intuition, there is an effect on the inferior parietal lobe. So, this is associated with perceptual processing relating to the concept of self in time and space. So, our clients who may be in flashback, or our clients who may just continue to be in the past, also just witnessing that with that too, as we're accessing spirituality and intuition, that inferior parietal lobe can go beyond that time. Okay, can come to the present, can perhaps go to the cosmos. So, really being able to witness that it's this area that's being affected as we're accessing spirituality and intuition. So, with this too, it's also decreasing activation in parts of the brain responsible for stress, and increasing activity in parts of the brain responsible for connection with others. So, I've had several clients with this too. Just, I've always felt alone. I just feel alone. And just really witnessing with that attuned presence and us being able to really hold that space for their brain spotting journey, how wonderful it is as they're feeling connected in this moment, and also connected with whoever they're feeling is their divine or their spiritual source. So also with this, as we're accessing spirituality and intuition, it's a component of recovery from addiction. So just really being able to witness there's a union with something larger than oneself. So, in witnessing clinical intuition and attunement, you all have this. You all have this. And I've heard from so many people saying, I felt that I wanted to say something, right? Because we were doing weight. And I just felt like, oh gosh, it just feels like this person needs to hear this. And then 2 seconds later, that person is saying exactly what you wanted to say. So just in being able to witness, this is your clinical intuition. Okay. So with this, when there's greater physiological synchrony between a therapist and a client, the patient feels more like they're getting an empathic treatment from their therapist. So really witnessing that our clients are able to go there as they're having this synchrony with us. And we'll talk a little bit more about brainwaves in this webinar as well. Just witnessing that synchrony is our brainwaves syncing up, our limbic systems talking to each other. So witnessing that clinical intuition is going to really support our clients to go there. It's that leap to go there. So the healing can go deeper with that clinical intuition. And also that healing can move into spiritual experiences, being able to hold that attuned presence.
And I just want to share that what Heather's talking about is the biofield. When we sit across from our clients, we create this biofield of energy. And this is being studied by more and more researchers. This also talks about Reiki and using energy, an exchange of energy with our clients. For those of you that might want more information on this, Chi, the Collective Healing Initiative, this is what this organization is doing. They have people researching the healing experiences and the exchange of energy and that biofield that we're talking about, that we create when we're sitting across from each other, where our clients, when we're grounded and we're bringing in the love and the care that we have for them, they're borrowing our neurobiology so that they can go deeper into their processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the oh shoot, now I just spaced out. I'll put it in the chat. Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
Yeah. So yeah, chi.org. Yeah, that's so powerful. Yes. So as we were going through the research, what's so interesting here is we were just wondering, so what circumstances support a client's access to spirituality, to trust, to intuition? And with this, just witnessing that we're wanting to really support our clients to move into harmony. And to be there in harmony, we need to have that balance with spirit, with body, with mind, and really allowing us to go there. So, as we were moving through the research, we were able to witness that how do we get there? We get there through surrender, curiosity, and trust. And so, a huge phrase in Brainspotting, just be curious, right? So in this, allowing our clients to, or allowing ourselves to surrender into the process, and then our clients are borrowing that neurobiology of surrender to be able to go into their deeper accesses of the brain to really access those deeper healings. So being able to just witness that as we are moving into this surrendering process, this uncertainty process, over time, this is leading to our clients having these creative, intuitive experiences and moving into their authentic state of being.
Mm-hmm.
So also just witnessing as we're doing brain spotting as a daily empowering practice, this really ignites and elevates your intuitive perception. So another great phrase, we don't need to know what it is to know that it is. And so there's just different times that I'll see my clients as they are accessing some deeper healing or spirituality, intuition. It's beautiful. I don't need to know what their experience, they don't need to talk about it. I can see their healing. It's absolutely incredible. So also just in witnessing that brain spotting practice over time may reveal a sacred inner sanctuary from which you and the client may move into elevated consciousness while co-regulating back to that clinical attunement and intuition. I also just feel like with this, just really witnessing with that surrender, that curiosity and trust, there's more opportunity for those synaptic connections to rewire. And I feel that our brain is seeking healing. Our brain is seeking that upliftment.
When we can surrender to the curiosity, we're suspending the neocortex. The neocortex is the part of the brain that is going to tell a story, and that story could be fake. It doesn't even have to be real, but it helps us feel better because maybe it makes sense to us, but the story doesn't have to be real. When we can surrender during the brain spotting process and we get all this kind of weird imagery and weird thoughts maybe and things like you're just like, what the heck is this? We don't know. When we can observe that without judgment, that's the sweet spot. That is where we're going to get these insights. Our intuition's going to turn on and we're going to go places beyond what we've gone before. Everything before that can be conditioned programming. But once we get in there and we open that door to instinct and creativity, now we're in a totally different place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
So,
go ahead.
yeah, the flow states. Been waiting for the slide. So, flow states, we all have experienced these moments where everything's just effortless and we just feel really good about something. Have you ever had that experience where you get into it, like maybe it's a creative experience or you've done something and you've just really enjoyed yourself and it was effortless? Well, guess what? We have found that when you trigger these things intentionally and do them more and more and bring them into your life more and more, you're going to increase spirituality and intuitive experiences. So the term flow state is a mental state in which a person is completely focused on a single task or activity. They direct all of their attention toward the task and may not experience thoughts of themselves or their performance. They're engrossed. They're in it completely. It's taking over. By triggering flow states within the subcortical brain, clients can access spirituality and intuition. So we can learn how to do this intentionally and we can practice it and build a flow muscle so that we can actually live in these areas more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to cover this one or you want me to?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm just mindful of the time. Are we getting close?
Yep, we are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a flow cycle. This is what it looks like. Okay. First of all, guess what? The beginning part of the flow cycle is struggle. You've got to go into the struggle because your brain's taking in new information, it's learning, it gets overwhelmed. A lot of times, unfortunately, this is where people stop. And if you stop, you're not going to get to flow. You're going to have to start the cycle all over again. So some of you get stuck in a struggle cycle. You struggle, 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 and you never get the benefits of flow because what you got to do is you got to do this release. And this is where you relax and let go. Anyone ever have like the best insights of their life when they go and they take a shower? Right? All of a sudden, I know for me, I don't know why, but when I'm standing in line to board a plane, thank goodness for smartphones. I'm putting down all of my intuitive stuff because for some reason, that's when the downloads come. So you take your mind off of it. And when you give yourself a break, that is when the brain starts to give you insights and move you into a flow state. And this is when it's unconscious process. It feels very flowy. You don't have the inner critic commenting, oh, that's never going to happen. That's not real. That's not reality. Instead, it's going to be very flowy. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be exciting. And to be able to persevere in the flow, we have to remove distractions like our smartphones, right? Any interruptions. You've got to increase your ability to have a positive mood. So your environment is very important. And this is also when you're in a flow state is when the brain gets excited about pattern recognition and it starts to look for patterns and it starts to create, I wonder if this is connected. I wonder if that's connected. And that's exactly what happened with this training. We started with spirituality and intuition, and all of a sudden we found out that flow was connected to that because we were reading all of this research and they were all showing up. Then here's the last part that a lot of us don't do. We all know we should do it, but we don't as healers. Active recovery, not passive recovery, active recovery. This is where you do the yoga. This is where you take a break, you walk away, take a walk, immersion in nature. You do these things to replenish your bucket, to give yourself the energy so you can start the flow cycle over again.
Yeah. So just in looking at flow in the brain. So we have these functional networks and they're parts of the brain that get activated together, but they're not necessarily hardwired together. So as we move into flow, the prefrontal cortex goes into both at the same time. And so being able to discover this and seeing that as we're in brain spotting, as we're in flow, we're in these different brain waves. The theta waves are 4 to 7 hertz and they're slower and they associated with deep relaxation, meditation, and light sleep. So some of our clients who may go into just kind of this slight meditation or just like this light sleep, is it okay if I kind of fall asleep here? So they're moving into those other brain waves. It also allows for deep introspection and emotional exploration and dipping into the alpha waves. So these are associated with relaxed but awake state of mind. So this is where we are meditating or having creative hits of some sort. We're daydreaming. And what's happening here is the dopamine and norepinephrine are increasing.
Mm-hmm. So again, this is in our brain, everybody, and we can learn to increase these positive neurochemistries, but we have to do it intentionally through practices. That's how we need to happen. The brain is hardwired for negativity, so we have to do these practices intentionally, and then we can get these hits through our neurochemistry and have deeper flow states, spiritual experiences, and intuitive experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just moving into, we're going to do just a short group attunement and being able to witness how this increases synchrony and also amplifies healing. So when we're with our clients, we're co-regulating, we're coming into attunement with them. And what we're doing as all of us are here, just witnessing that we are coming into synchrony. And as we would be moving into the demo, all of us are holding that space for the demonstration coming up. So all getting into synchrony, just allow yourself to take in this image. And if you feel moved to go ahead and find a brain spot on this image, perhaps it's the top of the mountain, maybe it's that iceberg in the middle, whatever is calling to you, and just allow yourself to feel a sense of connection. Perhaps there are some words that you may be able to label this with, like peace or calm or spiritual. So we'll just all be here with this. Just notice what's happening with your body. We'll just be in this synchrony at this time. So again, just notice what you're noticing in your body. And with that, if it's feeling good, if it's feeling that you would want more of this, just allow yourself to expand this then and to imprint it, to anchor that in. Wherever you are with that, just allow yourself to have that. That is yours. That is yours. So as we wrap up the PowerPoint, moving into demo, would love to have you join us. So we have the Brain Spotting Spirituality and Intuition 3-day training is May 17th through the 19th. And as Cherie shared, we're going to be in Sedona in November with the training. It's so interesting because we've gotten so much information that we're actually wanting to put together a phase two. So this is another phase one, but we have so much more that we're looking at making a phase two. So what to expect on each day? Looking at day one, surrender and trust, keys to unlocking and accessing spirituality and intuition. Day two is being able to access intuition and increasing your focused mindfulness and embodiment. And then day three, spirituality, accessing and connecting. So here are some other areas that you would be able to cultivate as well throughout our time together. So we'd love to have you. So we're going to move into the demonstration. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the share. And with that, if everyone can turn off your videos, and I'm just looking for Jessica Matry to come on in.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you are. Yay. Hi, Jess. Good to see you.
Hi. I see you too.
Yay. So just having everyone turn off your videos. Okay, sounds good. Hi, it's good to see you. Yay. Good. So I know we already chatted and we already did some front loading of what we're looking at for today. And so just to get everybody up to speed, we talked about being able to access your present self and then also your future self or evolved conscious self or higher power. And so I think we talked about this earlier in the week. So you've been somewhat being able to process throughout the week on this. So yeah, so we'd love to just hear from you what has come up for you as we're thinking about present self.
Yeah. Well, I was for present self, it feels like what I was feeling would be most helpful was to literally just be like with whoever is here right now in this moment. So, and there's been, I feel like I have a little bit of an eclipse hangover. That's probably the best way I can say that. Like I just feel kind of raw and open and yeah, so that's kind of my present self now is raw and a little bit just really wide open and yeah.
And just in looking at that, so just like you shared, raw and open and the eclipse hangover, I definitely understand that. And so with that, do you notice it anywhere in your body?
Yeah, it actually feels really heavy in my shoulders and I'm like even kind of hunched over a little bit and like kind of want to sleep a lot and knowing that I should let myself do that, but then feeling bad about it. So yeah.
Got you. So hunched, feeling kind of sleepy with
Yeah.
that. And I noticed a few brain spots for you. Did you notice any that seemed to jump out at you?
I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay, okay.
I'll depend on you for that.
There we go. So I was just noticing it seemed to the upper left when you were sharing about sleepiness and raw and open. Does that feel like it could be a brain spot for you?
My left or your left? Like mine this way?
You got it. Yeah, your left.
Yeah. Yep, that's always where my hearts are, is over here. And so that feels true. Yes.
Does that feel as if that would be your present self spot?
Yep, definitely.
Okay. Okay. That's good. So then I'm just curious what has been coming up for you for either higher power or future self, evolved self.
That I've been doing some self spotting pretty much every day on that. And um for right now it's up here and I usually anchor in pretty easily and I'm already doing it right now. So that is feels very much like the self with a capital S self, like just very calm, grounded, stable, trusting, and doesn't have to know where she's going and just feeling the support without seeing.
So trusted, she knows where she's going without seeing, in capital S self.
Yeah.
So you decide where you want to start. Present self.
Okay. You want me to start with either spot?
Yep, either one.
Oh, I actually feel called to just kind of be with present self for a minute. Okay. Mm.
What are you noticing?
I'm having a lot of memories actually kind of coming in pretty quickly. I would say around like high school age where I see myself, like I'm looking at myself and I remember several times like falling asleep on the desk and like being like in school and being so exhausted from pushing myself or being pushed actually is more what it was like. And I like was asleep in a pile of my own drool. I was just like, and I remember several times like being so embarrassed and like waking up in the middle of class and like being deliriously tired. And I'm just getting a lot of those memories kind of flooding in right now. Um, and then some sadness as well, like coming up, um, and loneliness attached to that somehow.
And do you feel connected to this part of you? High school?
I don't. So, I mean, I see her, but I'll see if I can like make connection with her maybe. So she's looking at me and she's like, "Oh, thank God you're here." And she like collapsed, like so tired.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm. She's worried that if she doesn't keep up with her friends and with expectations and things, that she'll be left behind and she'll be all alone.
Mm.
Hmm. There's a pattern that she's kind of showing me, or I'm seeing of pushing herself past her own limits in order for connection and not really knowing what it's like to stay within her limits and also stay connected. She just got up off the ground and she's like dusting herself off, feeling a little more like, I don't know, something shifted. She was just like, oh, okay. Kind of like, I don't know. She's not like excited about anything, but she's not like collapsed anymore.
Mhm.
Mm. Mm.
She just said, I'm tired of chasing people and chasing belonging.
Mm. Is she aware of you?
Yeah, she's facing me and talking, like she's looking at me. She's almost like looking at me like, aren't you gonna do something? You know, like, and I'm just listening, but
Mm.
yeah,
Do you want to try your other spot? See if she wants to go there with you.
totally. Yeah. Let's see.
Mm.
She's uh, she's looking down like she's got perspective now, like she's like kind of like bird's eye view of her life, and she's like looking down, and I think maybe there's a guide up here, or like it is me or my higher self that's like showing her, like, look, like, see how things can be rearranged so that, you know, somebody's teaching her something or showing her something
Mhm.
from a different perspective.
Mhm. Good.
Mm.
Mm.
I guess this is really important. Like, what the message I'm getting from my higher self or guide up here is that this is somehow really important for my healing going forward in my life with the things that I'm needing to do and the things that I want to experience as a soul. Like, my growth is going to be really dependent on healing this wound around belonging. And um, yeah, and so that's a big message in this moment.
Mhm. What are you noticing in your body?
There's a lot of pressure in my head, like behind my eye, and I've actually never experienced this before. So it's just like something going on there that feels it really intense.
Mhm.
Um,
Is this tolerable?
yeah,
Mm.
much more at ease, like whatever just happened, like there's definitely more ease right now. Like the two of them are just kind of sitting together and resting and looking down at her life, and just like there's not as much angst in her. She feels supported.
With supported, where do you notice that?
Um, Actually the back of my heart, like between my shoulder blades, there's like a new sensation there in this moment, and feels like related to that. Mm. And also just like kind of just tired, but not in a way that I felt tired, depressed before. It's more just like a, oh, I can rest type feeling, relief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also hearing now that the chasing belonging, or whatever she was doing before, was actually working against her, and she's just I guess being shown that her being in her sovereignty, or just really being super authentic to who she actually is and how she actually feels, that's where she becomes more like magnetic, and that's where the belonging actually comes from. And that's what she's receiving right now, or what I'm receiving.
Mm-hmm. Is she taking it in?
Yeah, she is. Like it's interesting because I'm like witnessing these two having a conversation, and but I'm also receiving it. So yeah. And she doesn't quite trust it, because she's like, well, if I'm in my sovereignty, or if I am committing to just myself and being myself, doesn't that mean I'm alone? And so she's a little bit, yeah. So, but she's more on board than she was.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I it's almost like what I'm perceiving in this moment is, I'm just, as I'm staying present with this calmness and the stability that's here, it's like this background noise of like all of these, the only language I can use right now is like parts language, but all these other parts that are just like drowning out. They're just like, but what about this? But what about that? But how come this? And that doesn't make sense. But they're all like, it's like they're like, they came up and they're really loud, and then they're just like drowning out. And like I don't have to plug into any of them. Like I almost started talking about them and then, but they started leaving.
Mm.
So I don't know what that's about, but.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And are you still sensing self, higher power?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the anchor. It's like the eye of the storm. It's almost like they're just like anchored together, those two. And then everything is like falling off around them that isn't that.
Mm-hmm. What is that like for you?
It just feels so calm. Like in this moment, my body is calm. I have no activation at all. And even the heaviness is different. Like I feel heavy, but in my seat, like in my hips, on my chair. I don't feel like heavy in my shoulders really anymore. It's more like a groundedness versus heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
And again, relief, that word really resonates right now. Just relief, open in my heart, curious about what will happen, I guess.
So if that feels okay to you, to expand it, to see if that's something that resonates with you, with your higher self, your present self, relief.
I'm just gonna say that I really feel the group right now. I feel every person's attunement. I don't like, I want to fall asleep. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Feels
Beautiful.
so good. Yeah.
So we have about 5 more minutes. So if you're feeling to continue being here, that is perfectly fine. If you want to check in with your other spot, that's fine too. Feeling the attunement of the group. It's beautiful, relief.
I'll just check in over here just to see. That's interesting. She's like not, she's me now over here. I know this was supposed to be my present self and it ended up being my teenage self, but now it's me. So that's cool to feel that. Um, yeah, she's yeah, updated. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's an adult now.
Mm.
Mm.
What do you notice in your body with that? She's an adult now.
Um, surprise a little, like, whoa. I wasn't expecting that when I looked back over here. I was expecting to see her in high school, but maybe more healed, but I don't see her at all. I just see myself like I'm looking in a mirror right now. And so it feels really grounded. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, wherever you want to complete your journey, you can be there, you can be with higher power, you go back and forth, however you want to wrap this up. What are you noticing now?
I don't have like no words. I'm kind of blown away, honestly. Like I feel great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Mind blown.
Great. Great. Wonderful. Mind blown. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. 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 And just really neat to see you connecting, like connecting with teenage part, present self, capital S self, and how that all came together.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Do you feel okay inviting everyone back?
Sure. Yeah.
You just came back so present so quickly. I just want to check in. Does that feel okay?
Totally. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Do you want me muted or no?
You can be unmuted. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Come back, everybody. So thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Wonderful. Yay. I don't know if you see Michelle. She's Michelle's iPad. She's giving you the peace sign. So the chat is open if you want to share how that experience was. And just like our trainings, we'll go ahead and we'll look at personal debriefs. So feel free to, if you want to raise your hand and just share more with Jessica. Yeah, put things in the chat. Like she said, she felt all of your attunement. Felt everyone here. And yeah, go for it, Cherie.
I was just wanting to ask, Jessica, it sounded like, but I just want to confirm that were you getting body sensations and visuals and thoughts, all three?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. All the things.
Yeah. Is that how you usually process, or was there anything different to that this time?
Um, I usually like have a multitude of senses to process. A lot of mine are pictures and body. I did hear sound like words, and the only thing that I know this is technically body, but I haven't gotten that sensation in my head in that way ever before. So that was new.
Thanks. Thank you
Yeah.
for volunteering. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And feel free if there's anybody that wants to raise their hand or just pop in and share what your experience was with Jessica. It was beautiful to hold that attunement. I do want to share that. Yeah, I could feel so much as you were going through this. So I feel honored to hold that space. Yeah, Michelle.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to see you again. You were in the Brainspotting phase 2 and did the presentation. It was lovely. A lot of parts language. I'm just wondering, like when you went into it, would someone need to be like pretty well versed in brain spotting or that you've done spotting with in the past? Because it seemed like, I mean, I know that Jessica is, but I don't know if that's necessary and how this is different from, brain spotting, like we learn in phase 1 and 2. So I'm just wondering about that. And maybe Jessica, you can even speak to that.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up for you, Jessica, with her question?
I guess the only thing that's coming to me is that the way that I now do my own brain spotting, it's just naturally goes to parts work because that's what I gravitate to. But I don't think that it has to, I know it doesn't have to be that way, but I'll let you take that, Heather.
Yeah. And so just wherever Jessica's system wanted to go. And so just like Jessica said, that she does parts work and that's just kind of where her system goes. So not necessarily that I would need to know parts work or she would need to know parts work or that somebody has been brain spotting for a long time. And so also just sharing that on my YouTube channel, we have a webinar from December and you can see how that person processed. And she did a very similar setup and she didn't do parts work. So
Okay.
just, yeah, so it can be done with anyone, you know, if that helps with your question.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering about this setup too, and I know it's just a guideline or suggestion. Um, is it very different when you're doing the spirituality and intuition than what we may have learned in other trainings? Didn't seem like it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, Sheree, did you want to field that?
Yeah, what we're doing, if the client feels that they can access, then this is how we can be creative, right? So for Jessica, it was present self and higher self, or the big S, she said. So we used her language, right? For somebody else, you'll see some of the demos that Heather was talking about. We did a crummy feeling, right? That they were feeling, and then we did their life's calling
Yeah.
spot. And that helped them feel inspired and connected to spirit. So you're going to use the language of your clients. And some people are going to want to clear something crummy. It could be a negative thought. It could be a trauma. But yet they also feel that they can access higher power, higher self, whatever their language is the language that you're going to use.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. That was helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Great question. Hi, Carla.
Hi there.
Hey.
You guys so much, Heather and Sheree, for giving us this beautiful information. And Jessica, my goodness, thank you for coming so open because it was just really, really beautiful to watch your process. You have this beautiful light behind you, and I just was sitting there in your higher power because it's just shining through all the way to Texas. So thanks so much. And some intuition showed up for me because when you went back to check in on your up the left side where you started, I just automatically thought she's gone, basically like your teenager was gone. And then you started talking, I'm going, oh my gosh. And so it was very, very beautiful. I just loved it. And thanks again, guys, for all this information. And I will get to one of your trainings for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank
Maybe
you,
the
Carla.
in-person one.
Yay! Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Carla. And I really appreciate you sharing like your own intuition that came through.
Yes. Yes, I have experienced that before, but I kind of like, but now you guys explain it, I'm going, wow, that's a thing, And this time it just was like split second and I said it, and then she went over there. She goes, no, it's me. And I'm going, oh my goodness. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was very cool.
There it is. Yeah. And what's so neat too, and would love to hear other people's experiences too, just kind of holding that attuned presence out there, group attunement, is just that synchrony. So you were in sync with Jessica during that time. And it's really neat too. I appreciate you just speaking into that. It's almost like sometimes I feel like if we don't have a word for it, it's almost like not that it's non-existent, but more so like I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to dismiss it. And
Right,
so it's almost as if you had verbiage of some sort and like, oh,
right.
that's what that is.
So
So
that's actually like you're saying synchrony then. That's synchrony. So
mhm.
what I was calling intuition is that's not it. It's actually the synchrony. Is that what you're saying?
It's all encompassing. So
Okay.
synchrony helps us to be able to access intuition. So you were having intuition and you were in that synchrony with her, you were in that attunement with her. So these different components help us to be able to access intuition,
Right,
synchrony, attunement. So all of that, it's almost like the perfect formula. And
right,
so, yeah,
right.
so you were able to experience that.
Well, that's what this feels like, is like the last piece to everything that we've already learned, you know. It's like, okay, this really now makes sense. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
and thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, did everyone, depending upon where you were, during the process, but I mean, just holding the space, being there and really looking at Jessica's eyes, feeling the flow that was happening. And this is where we're saying what we're learning is that there's things that we can do to enhance those flow states that increase the possibility of us having spiritual experiences and having intuitive experiences, that we can intentionally do this, that we can, I mean, it makes sense. We can put ourselves in altered states of consciousness. So with a brain spot, we can expand and enhance these things through intentionality. And as trauma therapists, I mean, maybe some of you aren't on here, I don't know. We spend a hell of a lot of time in suffering energy. Wouldn't it be nice to spend some time in spiritual energy and get replenished, right? For the work that we do, because we are the light. We are bringing the light to our clients. So let's see what we can do to enhance it, because then our clients can follow in our footsteps and it can enhance their connection as well. And we need this on this planet right now.
Mhm. 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 Yeah. And all of us here together in that synchrony and in that attunement. And just like Sheree said, like we do need that. And it's really beautiful to be with this many people who are wanting that and desiring that for our clients. And oftentimes you've probably heard like we need to go first. And so it's really neat to be able to be here with all of you and just witnessing that we're going first so that we're able to be there with our clients.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hallie, go ahead. I think
Oh,
you're muted.
let's see. Ask to unmute. Let's try that. Did that work? There we go. Huh? No, it's still not working, Hallie. I don't know why. Do you want to put it in chat? Yeah, go ahead, put it in chat. Sorry about that. I don't know. There's something up with the microphone.
So Gloria had a question in the chat. Hi, Jessica. Can you share your experience when you were saying the different parts were showing up but drowning out?
Yeah. So again, that was kind of parts language there that I used, but basically my experience was I was witnessing like I guess you would call it my higher self and my teenage self sitting together. It on this island is really what it looked like. And then they were together and they were good, but the best way I can describe what I was hearing was like at a football game when there's a touchdown and the crowd goes wild, it's like, wow. It's like that. It was like that. But it was like, but it was kind of just like popcorn. Like I could hear the stories, like almost like these old program stories, or if IFS language would be like the protectors and things that were like, we're dying, but they were kind of leaving. And I don't know. I don't know what to make of that logically, but that's was my auditorial experience.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And
Wow,
I,
thank you. Thank you. So
yeah,
powerful.
yeah, go
So
ahead,
powerful.
Gloria.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Because that was, I think, a lot of things that I see sometimes my clients experience, right? When they are moving into that core self, and then here come the critics, here come the
Totally.
cautious, and so on and so forth. And it's so beautiful. When I see you saying that, oh, the critic is coming up, but oh, they're drowning out, you know. So
Totally.
that was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria, for sharing that. Yes, yes. And even I just feel to say, like, speaking of being able to hold that attunement and hold that presence, I just had this joy in my heart, like, yes, yes, the healing is happening. And, the parts are being drowned out and whatnot. And how beautiful to see you witness going back over to present self or the left side. And to witness that, and I even asked, like, what are you experiencing? And you said, surprised, surprised. I'd love for you to share more if there's more there, Jessica.
I mean, not that we're ever supposed to like anticipate what the experience will be, but when I was looking at my higher self and you said you invited me if I wanted to go to the other spot, my brain, here did think, oh, I'll just go back and see that she's fine now, right? She meaning my teen self. And that was at that split second thought. And I moved over there and I was like, it was like blank. I saw myself staring at myself now. And so I love being surprised by my own brain. Yeah, it was great.
I love that you said that. Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
Definitely get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And to just that surprise. And that's the healing. And that's our body. And that's, our brain body connection, which is so beautiful to be able to witness. And Hallie was able to put in the chat, my takeaway from your experience is from your higher self that being sovereign or authentic doesn't create aloneness, but maybe more connection.
Mhm.
Me too. That was my biggest takeaway as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Oh,
just
beautiful.
say
Sheree.
that as we all sat here and witnessed, like take in, because there is information here for you too. I can't say what that information is, but you're here for a reason. And something came up inside of you during this webinar. Don't dismiss it. Listen. I'm just inviting you to listen. Let's see where that takes you. Should I make the
Yes, go make the announcement.
okay. I had a little formula. I'm not going to tell you what the formula is because then I don't know. I'm just not going to tell you, but I'll tell you who won. Okay. So Chris, and if I'm saying it, Gerono, am I saying that correctly? Are you here?
Able to come on.
So actually, that is my partner, and he had to leave because of a family emergency about
No
10 minutes
way.
ago.
Oh
For
my
reals.
God.
Okay.
For reals.
He
Go
won
ahead.
free training. He won the free training. Now, you had to be here to win the free training. So he won the free training. How? And I swear, I did not know that. I did not know that that is your partner's name. Promise everybody, she did not pay me. There was nothing about that.
That's
Okay.
synchronicity. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, it is. And we have 2 one-on-one experiences, and you'll need to email me for that. Okay. And that goes to Ellen Lynn. Ellen, are you here? Oh my gosh, did I get all the people that are not here anymore? So we might have to reach out to Ellen Lynn. And then Craig Phillips. Now I see you, Craig. So you won as well.
All right, Craig.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much for being here. And just email me, Craig, and then we'll set something up for the one-on-one, okay?
Do you see this in the chat? I knew
Yeah.
Craig would
I
win.
knew Craig would win.
That intuition. Oh, congratulations, Craig. Oh, isn't that funny? She was staring at him. That's, yeah, yeah. Isn't that neat how that happens? Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for both of our bottoms of our hearts for being here and being so dedicated to this process and to intuition, to spirituality, to your clients, and just wishing you so well. I just feel like we are all the light bearers and just allowing us to be able to continue holding and carrying the light. Feel free to reach out to Cherie or myself. And, if you have any questions, anything's coming up for you, just feel free to reach out.
Thank you, everyone. So good to see everybody. New faces and familiar faces. Take care. Be well. Until we meet again.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.